Sevilla won, Roma won, and after extra time and penalties, Sevilla won 4-1 and claimed their 7th Europa League title. It is just inevitable at this point. This team is Europa League. Just like Real Madrid is to the Champions League, Sevilla is to Europa League. And by the way, Spanish teams in European finals, oh my God, they clean up. I don't know what it is, but Spanish teams in European finals, they know what to do. They always seem to get the better of the opposition. So fair play to them. And look, I'm not gonna lie, it was a scrappy game. It wasn't an entertaining game by any stretch of the imagination. Stop, start, this, that. But in the end, we finally got through it. It felt like a Super Bowl, man. Like it was genuinely a marathon of football. And in the end, Sevilla did get the win, and congratulations to them on penalties as well. And they deserved it. Their penalties were really good. Arguable about the encroachment, but if VAR's given it, the man has encroached, and rightly so, I'm guessing. So you have to say fair play at the end of the day. Mourinho huffed and puffed, tried his best. I thought in the first half, Roma were very good, but in the second half, they didn't quite keep up and didn't quite keep their foot on the gas. And look, you can sit here and go, Roma, first half, brilliant. Second half, took their foot off the gas. And I'm going to sit here and say that as well. However, at the same time, that's Mourinho's game plan. That's always what he's going to do. Anyone that watched the second leg against Bayern Leverkusen, you would have saw that they got their business done in the first leg. Second leg, they snuffed it out differently, man. They defended, parked the bus, and did the same thing here. They played really well in the first half, really on the front foot. And then as soon as they got their goal, in the second half, they sat back and they let Sevilla come on to them. And they got punished. They got punished in that sense. The game dragged differently. Like, oh my God. This one I knew I was watching a foreign football game, man. Like, every single foul, the whole benches get up and they lord it and they start shouting in the referee's face. The amount of tactical fouls, the amount of yellow cards surrounding the referee. I'm sure Anthony Taylor-McLaurin would get a headache by the end of the game. I've got a headache watching it. Like I said, I felt like I was watching the Super Bowl or something. Like, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start every 2 minutes. But we eventually got through the football and Sevilla win on penalties. It was my prediction that Sevilla were going to win it. Obviously, it's the clash of like the winners. Do you get what I mean? Like Sevilla being the Europa League winners. This is their competition, just like Real Madrid's competition is the Champions League, right? On the flip side, you've got Jose Mourinho, who's won the Europa League. He's won the Europa Conference League. He's won the Champions League. Jose Mourinho in one-off games is a winner. That's his bread and butter. And the two Goliaths clashed today, and in the end, Sevilla got the victory. And fair play to them as well. And bloody hell, the right back as well, Montiel. Man scores the winning penalty in the World Cup final, and now scores the winning penalty in the Europa League final as well. This man's got the perfect arc. Like, for a squad player, to have these moments come up and say to his kids one day that, and his grandkids, that I scored in the World Cup final winning penalty and Europa League final winning penalty. What a crazy storyline. So congratulations to him, man. Big up to himself for doing that. But yeah, overall, I have to give credit to Sevilla where credit's due, because in that first half, I thought they were poor. They weren't at it whatsoever, and Roma were all over them like a rash. But they responded well in the second half, Sevilla. That's what I have to give them credit to, because in a final, right, it's a long game. 90 minutes is a long time in football, right? And you're going to have your spells in matches. So what Roma did is what Sevilla did is when they were on the ropes a little bit in the first half to Roma, they didn't cave in. They stayed in the football match. And although Roma were the better team and pushing, they didn't quite give up. They stayed in the game, stayed defensively astute. And in the second half, they changed their game plan up and they went for Roma again. And they deservedly got their goal. It was an own goal, but I thought the second half, Sevilla were much better. Much, much better. So you could say deservedly so in many respects. It was a game of two halves. First half, Roma. Second half, Sevilla. Extra time didn't really go to either team. Remember what I said in the previous streams? Anyone that was here before? Extra time, scrap it, man. I've been saying it for time now, bro. Look, every now and then you'll get some magic in extra time, like Götze winning the World Cup for Germany. But for the majority of time, extra time is boring, bro. Everyone goes down for cramp. You're eking out time. It's just the prelude to penalties. It's just 30 plus minutes of wasted time. In this case, about 45 minutes, because I was about 11, 12 minutes lobbed on at the end of extra time for this game, because the amount of cramp and tactical fouls and injuries and the benches running on the pitch whenever there was a foul and VAR and all that. Like, it was just ugly, ugly stuff. Let's get into some of your comments. Anyone that's watching, by the way, make sure you subscribe if you're new around here and let me know your thoughts in live chat. I'd love to hear it. Tommy, appreciate joining the stream. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Ugly games. Scrap extra time for me. Agree. Congrats on Sevilla winning the Sevilla Invitational Trophy. I mean, Europa League. It's looking that way, my friend, man. It's looking that way. This is Sevilla's competition. And it's the thing, right? Just like Real Madrid in the Champions League at times. When you have that aura, when you have that confidence, it feels inevitable that they're going to win it. It feels like everything goes their way. Is that just what it is? Like, it's just life funny like that. We can all talk about how it's, the law of averages means they're going to lose at the end of the day. They're going to lose at some point. But Spanish teams in finals, in European finals, they clean up. I think the last time to lose was when Bayern Munich played Valencia, and even that was on penalties. So Spanish teams in European finals, they get the business done. They get it over the line. So fair play to them, man. Fair play. And Sevilla, look, like I said, the first half, I didn't think they were great whatsoever. I think Roma were all over them. But they hung into the game, and they bode their time more. They picked their time, and they hit them on the counter-attack. And in the second half, I thought they really dominated. They played really, really well in that second half. Really took the game to Roma. And in the end, look, a draw is probably a fair result. As I think a lot of people predicted it was going to be a tight game in that respect. And over the slight margins, because when it goes to penalties, it's the little things, right? And it was Sevilla that won it on penalties. And look, penalties, Roma can sit there and Jose Mourinho can sit there and go, oh, we lost the game. But when you lose on penalties, it's just one of those things, man. Like, you can talk about how you should have won the game in normal time and potentially extra time, fair play. But when it comes to a penalty shot, you can always talk about, oh, I should have taken this penalty differently. I shouldn't have gone down the middle. I should have placed it rather than gone for power, etc., or vice versa. But penalties is penalties, man. It's you, the ball, 18 yards and the goalkeeper. That is it. Like, if you boil it down, anything can happen, man. Anything can happen in penalty shootout. So I wouldn't, if I was Roma fans, I wouldn't look at the penalty shootout as the reason you lost the game. I would look at the whole 90 minutes. The first 45 minutes were brilliant. Why do you not keep that pace on? I feel like Roma retreated into their shell too early in the second half. Retreat into your shell when there's like 10, 15 minutes to go. Not at the start of the second half. I feel like they gave too much license to Sevilla in the second half for them to come on to them. Look, Sevilla were always going to make a run in this game. It's inevitable. You aren't going to keep them down forever. But if they're going to make a run, at least make them earn it. Keep your foot on the gas. And if they come back from the death, so be it, man. So be it. But at least make them earn it. Don't just sit back and give them the incentive, give them the impotence to go onto you. Because that's what I felt Roma did. They sat back too much and tried to absorb pressure too early in the football game. Look, I'm not a man to coach Jose Mourinho on how to manage a football team, trust me. But that's just my thought process and how I saw it. But it's Jose Mourinho. That's how he plays. He's a defensive-oriented manager. If it's Pep Guardiola, for example, we know he wouldn't do that. He would have gone for the kill. And maybe I would have sat here and say Roma lost 2-1 because they went for the kill and Sevilla hit 2 goals in the counter-attack. I would have sat here and gone, why didn't they go defensive? So I guess hindsight is 2020 vision, right? So, but I'm just looking at it from a point of view that when you've got a team on the ropes, it wasn't like Roma were winning 1-0 and they fluked the goal and it was a very evenly contested half. Like, they were the miles better team in that first half. Genuinely the miles better team. And they deserved to be up at least 1 or 2 goals. So, at that point, you've got to push the agenda and carry on going, in my opinion. But that's just my thoughts on it, man. 2001, the last time, geez, yeah. The last time a Spanish team had lost in a European final. Crazy. Congratulations to Spanish clubs, man. Spanish clubs are good in Europe. You're right. They are really, really good in Europe, man. I think they've got a good balance. Spanish clubs have been technically gifted, but also they know how to manage games. Like, if you watch this game today, right, as a football fan, as an Arsenal fan, as you can see, watches the Premier League, I wasn't used to every single foul, every single incident, every single VAR incident. It was like the whole team contested it. All the subs run onto the pitch, players surround the referee. I'm not used to that in the Premier League. And look, many will say it's too much, it's over the top, you don't need it. But at the same time, like, it works a little bit, it intimidates the referee. Like, Anthony Taylor would get a headache. Anthony Taylor and Michael Oliver don't know what hit them. they can't wait to get back into the Premier League next season because they would have got a headache this game, man. The amount of times they just surround the referee, shouting. I think he gave away so many yellow cards. Genuinely, Anthony Taylor gave so many yellow cards away. So if you look at it, man, Spanish clubs, they know how to play the game in European finals. Genuinely, they know to. They've got good balance technical ability, but also game management, I think, is really top from them. And I do think English clubs lack a bit of game management sometimes. I feel like they let the game get away from them at times, English clubs, whereas I feel like the Spanish teams, Real Madrid, Sevilla in Europa League, etc., they know how to manage the football game. They play the game in phases. They know they're not going to dominate game from minute 1 tonight, just like Sevilla did today. But when they get their chance, they take it, and then they defend well at other points. So they make sure they max out in both facets of the game, going forward and going backwards as well. Do you think they'll consider scrapping extra time? So much cramp and time wasting is boring viewing. Tommy, I think they will. Genuinely, I think they will. Because look, even if you look at the EFL playoffs, right? Championship 1 went to extra time penalties. League 2 1 went to extra time penalties. League 1 almost went to penalties. They scored in the final second of extra time. Lots of games go to extra time, and players just go down for cramp. They just go down injured. And what's ended up happening is Roma have had to take off some of their penalty takers because of cramp or injury when they would have taken the penalty in the shootout and they potentially could have had a different outcome. Like I said, every now and then you'll get a brilliant moment in extra time, like Mario Götze win the World Cup for Germany against Argentina in 2014. Jesse Lingard scoring for Man United against Crystal Palace in the FA Cup final. Aaron Ramsey in the FA Cup final for Arsenal against Hull City. So every now and then, extra time will give you those moments of magic. But for one of those moments, you got 7 or 8 moments of just pure boring, going down cramp and injured, man, and just wasting time. And it's just a slugfest, and it's just slow, and it's a grind out, and it just feels like everyone's waiting for penalties, but we just have to get through this like training. Do you get what I mean? It's like the warm-up to penalties. So yeah, I'm all for scrapping extra time, in my opinion, personally. Record for bookings in the final, it must have been, man. That was a scrappy, ugly game, genuinely. Scrappy, ugly game indeed. So many yellow cards, so many tactical fouls. But I think a lot of people would have expected that, right? It's Roma versus Sevilla. Both these teams, let's be honest, no disrespect to either of those teams, they're not the 2 best teams in the Europa League. They're not. Fact of the matter, they're not. but they've beaten better teams to get to that position. How do you beat better teams? You don't beat better teams playing football for football. Because if that's the case, a better team will go through. You beat better teams by having a slight edge to you. What's it called? Winning in the dark arts of the football. You know what I mean? Just playing that like extra edge to you, that little bit of aggressiveness, that tactical fouls, game management. That's how you win these type of games if you are Sevilla and Roma. And what happened is you had two dogged, ugly teams face each other head on. And what happened is you got an ugly game. That's how it is. It's like they both tried to out-compete each other, both tried to out-aggressive each other. And what happened is we ended up getting a boring game in many respects. I thought it was boring personally. Look, I watched it. I love football, but I'll come out and I'll say it's a boring game, man. It was. But look, feel free to disagree. I'm sure Roma fans will maybe disagree. I'm sure Sevilla fans will definitely disagree because they've come out with the Europa League title. They're 7th. So fair play to them, man. Next one is 9 out of 10. You could make a cup of tea and not miss a thing in extra time. I expect penalties. Yeah. I think, look, unless you score in the first 10 minutes of extra time, the commentators just go, oh, we're gearing up for penalties now. We're gearing up for penalties. Penalties are just inevitable, man. They're just inevitable. So, yeah, for me, I'm all for penalties. Everyone goes down in cramp in extra time. The pace completely falls off the cliff. It's like two chess players that are just like settling for a draw. Do you know what I mean? So, I think that's what extra time's kind of like that a little bit. Yes, extra time was difficult to watch. It is, and it has been difficult to watch. Even the Championship extra time was difficult to watch. I didn't watch the League 2 game, but the League 1 one was also, to be fair, I mean, they scored in the last second, so it kind of made up for it. But for the most part, difficult to watch. Extra time is a slugfest, man. It's a slugfest. You get some amazing extra times, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's inevitable you're going to get some. Over the course of 30 minutes, you're going to get some goals and everything. But for the majority of extra times, boring, man. Boring. Evening, Mali. I hope you're doing well. Doing well, thank you. Sevilla are Europa experts. Genuinely, they are. 7 times, I think, correct. 7 times Europa League winners. And I spoke about this when I spoke about Real Madrid as well, right? Do you think that the media fueling this narrative and football fans fueling this narrative is actually taking it further than it is? Like, because look, if I looked on the balance of two teams, right, and say Sevilla didn't have his record behind them, I would have gone for Roma to win the Europa League final. I predicted Sevilla purely because of their record in the Europa League. That was the only reason, genuinely the only reason. Everything else told me Roma were going to win it. Italian team, dogged, Jose Mourinho is their coach. They've got matchwinners like Dybala on the pitch. So I was going, you know what? I think Roma would win it. But in my head, I was like, actually, hang on a minute, Dennis. Sevilla won the Europa League 6 times. They seem to do well every time they're in the final. This is their competition. You got to give it to Sevilla. And I was like, hang on a minute, you're right. I'm going to give it to Sevilla. Even when they went 1-0 down, I was like, nah, they're not going to lose this game, man. They're going to lose this game. So do you think like football fans are fueling this? Now, I know records don't mean nothing and they got the record for a reason. But at the same time, like records come to an end. Like for football, the same team ain't going to win the Europa League season in, season out. So it's inevitable it's going to come to an end. So if the football fans just sat there and go, record doesn't matter, do you think it'd be a different outcome? Or do you think the fact that the football fans and the media fuel this narrative of Sevilla always win the Europa League when they're in the final, this is their competition, they're the experts at it, it's kind of helping them to actually go on and do it more because it psychologically impacts the game? I'm not too sure, but that's just my thought process on it. It's my 2 cents on it. Like I said, if you're the better team, narratives don't matter. Like Real Madrid have got the Champions League narrative behind them, winning it 13, 14 times, right? Man City didn't care. They wouldn't just wallop them 4-0. So at the same time, if you're the better team, it happens. Maybe like the little margins, it makes a difference. But if you're the better football team, man, you don't worry about these little gimmicks and records because you're there to break records at the end of the day. And that's what Man City did against Real Madrid. And Roma couldn't quite do that today, man. They couldn't. Sevilla must want a Champions League now. Seems the second tier is their level. Yeah, this is like their competition. This is their stomping ground right here, man. The Europa League. I don't think they're quite at it when it comes to Champions League. Look, they qualified for the Champions League through the Europa League. I'm not sure if they made it in La Liga, to be completely honest. I don't think they did, to be fair. So they got in the Champions League now, but they can't do it in the Champions League, man. And it's just not their competition. They can't. When they come up against bigger fish to fry, they can't do it. It's not their game. But Europa League, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's in the water there. I don't know whether it's the orange. The orangeness is just fuels them, but it's their competition. It's theirs nailed on. Barnsley had 10 men felt for them. Yeah, and they had 10 men for the majority of the football match. They got a man sent off after like 48, 49 minutes. So congrats to them for lasting so long. Commiserations in the end for obviously not winning the football match. But Sheffield Wednesday, I think, on the balance of the season and the final deserve to go through to the Championship, to be honest. Record does count for something. Yeah, of course it does. Look, I take nothing away from the records, man. Records help. Malia backs up that point. Yeah, look, you're 100% right. Records do help, and you can't take away records, man. Like it's one of those things. It's evident in football for life. You can't take anything away from it. But at the same time, man, you gotta sit there and go. Records are meant to be broken. No record lasts forever, man. This is football. It's sport. Like if everyone 100% assumes Sevilla are gonna win this game, no one would turn on the telly. You know what I mean? The fact that we had the inkling that Roma could get back in this game, and some people predicted Roma to win this game, was the reason we turn on the telly. So records help, but records aren't the defining factor. City won 4 times, so the media hyped them up. Yeah, I get you. I get you. So it's one of those things, man. Perhaps other team knew that the record books were against them. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Did the media fuel this? Did it get to Roma's heads? Did they get to penalties and think, you know what? They've won it 7 times. They've won it 6 times. They're trying to win it 7 times. This is their competition. When it gets to this stage in Europa League, they always seem to win it. So did that get to them in their heads? Because look, Roma's penalties were poor, man. They were poor. Apart from the first one, even the first guy that took the penalty, I sat there and I was like, the brother's nervous, man. Like, he's genuinely nervous. So I look and I go, maybe it did get to their heads a little bit. And it doesn't help that obviously Dybala was taken off, Tammy Abraham was taken off. Penalty takers for Roma were taken off the pitch, potentially due to cramp and other reasons. So you got to look at it and think, it's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. Kept calling us underdogs. Yeah, you're right. Sevilla can't remember them in the UEFA Champions League knockout stage much. Me neither. I think this season they got bopped in the group stages. I remember Man City playing them a couple times and beating them. So yeah, it's a Sevilla life cycle, man. They win the Europa League, get up to the Champions League. They lose in the group stage, come third, and then go back down to Europa League again. It's just a life cycle of Sevilla. Round and round in a merry-go-round. That's just them. Nailed on. Same with Tommy. I agree with you, though. It was a pretty boring game. Very boring. Very, very boring, man. Like, I knew it was going to be an ugly game going into it, but still, it's a Europa League final. Surely, as a football team, you've got a duty to at least, to some extent, entertain. I'm not saying you have to go out and play free-flowing football and play like Man City, Prime Man City, or Prime Barcelona under Pep Guardiola would. I'm not asking for that. But at least play football with some kind of attacking edge to you. It was like defense meets defense. It was just low block versus low block at times. And no team wanted to really penetrate the other team. Do you get what I mean? So I look at it and I go, look, Sevilla won it, but it's not a 90 or 120 minutes. Or, to be fair, 3 hours I'm going to remember anytime soon, to be completely honest with you guys. I remember them Sporting Lisbon. Oh, Sporting Lisbon knocked Arsenal out of the Europa League, man. What a difference it would have been if my club Arsenal win this Europa League final, man. It would have been absolutely brilliant. I was cleaning up. If you are a Sevilla fan, are you content with that or frustrating? I think you're content, man. Look, if you win a trophy at the end of the day, it don't matter how you do it, bro. It don't matter how you do it. Look, Sevilla fans would have taken that other than a brilliant game they lose 4-3. Do you get what I mean? Like, you just want to win a trophy. So they would have taken that at the end of the day. Roma fans obviously wouldn't have. I wonder what Jose Mourinho says in his press conference. He was animated on the touchline. The whole Roma team was. Look, let me know your thoughts in live chat, yeah? I'm all for passion in football. I'm all for it. But was the Roma, especially, look, both benches, Sevilla and Roma, but especially Roma benches, did they cross a line? Because I think they did. Look, I've seen the media slander Mikel Arteta and Jurgen Klopp for all the antics on the touchline. Now, I've sat there, I've defended the manager. I've said that's passion. But this right here from Roma, that was crazy, bro. Like, a free kick on the halfway line, and they'd storm onto the pitch, shout and scream. You got about 7 men in the technical area at once. All the subs. I wouldn't even know if there were subs without their green bibs on. So I think it was a little too much, personally, in my opinion. I thought the antics were a little too much. I'm all for passion in football. I'm all for it. But a little too much. Like, a little over the top, man. Do you get what I mean? They want the Champions League cash. Yeah, clearly they do, man. They want the Champions League cash and they'll win the Europa League, man. That's a severe game plan. That's their management style. I'd be proud of 7 Europas, but frustrated that we couldn't compete in the Champions League. Let's be real, yeah? You trade like 5 or 6 or maybe even 7 of those Europas for one Champions League. Let's be real about it right now, man. That's the thing. Like, I love the potential of having other competitions. Like Brighton, look at the way they celebrated making Europa League, for example. It's brilliant we have the abundance of competitions, and it allows smaller teams to have a chance of winning European trophies, even though they will never have the wildest dreams of winning the Champions League. But at the same time, they'll always be remembered as the B-Tech Champions League. Do you get what I mean? It's like winning a Euros. A Euros is amazing to win, but you didn't win the World Cup, like the real big daddy competition. So I think Sevilla would trade 7 Europa Leagues for one Champions League. Genuinely, they would. I would do that. Like, the Champions League's a Champions League, man. So that's the thing. But look, if you're a team like Brighton making Europa League, fair play to you, man. It's like that is their Champions League at the end of the day. And I guess Sevilla, their Champions League is Europa League. Anthony Taylor, great referee. Look, I mean, I will never class any English referee as a great referee, to be completely honest with you. Anthony Taylor don't know what hit him. I don't think he knew what hit him, to be honest, bro. That was an ugly affair. Ugly affair, man. So the fact he was able to ride that out, fair play to him, and I got to credit Anthony Taylor for that, because it was not an easy game to manage one bit. Because, look, dealing with decisions is tough enough in the final, but dealing with decisions when you got one team barking from this ear, another team barking from that ear, it's tough to keep your cool. And he did, to be fair. Look, he made a bad decision on the penalty, but he went and retracted it through VAR. So, look, at the end of the day, the right decision was made. I thought overall the main decisions were correct. That was made. I don't think any of them were penalties, even though there was loads of shouts coming from both benches regarding penalties on either side. I thought he had a good game overall. Yeah, Roma were ugly. Very ugly, man. Very ugly. That's why we have VAR for that pen. that was overturned. Exactly. And it was a dive. But to be fair to Anthony Taylor, in real time, I thought it was a penalty. I thought it was a nailed-on penalty, genuinely in real time. So when I saw the replay, obviously I was like, okay, cool, it wasn't a penalty. And there was a lot of diving, by the way. Let's address this, by the way. A lot of diving. Certain times when players, but you know what? It's not even like diving is like there's minimal contact, they fall down. Like they were initiating contact. They were moving their leg into the opposition player who would just stand there like a mannequin and they initiate contact and fall down. Like that is simulation at its finest. So look, it's a final. I understand why they do it. But yeah, a lot of diving in this game. Italian football is more animated, 100%, bro. That and the Bookham, man. Every time they're on the floor, Bookham, yellow cards everywhere. Dennis, would you watch Serie A, La Liga? Nah, to be completely honest with you, I wouldn't. I'd watch it every now and then. I'm getting more into watching football in other leagues as well, to be completely honest with you guys. Like even this season, I watched quite a bit of Championship. I never really used to watch Championship. For this channel, I might venture out. But in terms of, look, if there's ever a Premier League game on, I will prioritize the Premier League game. Unless it's a Champions League match, that's different. But in terms of domestic leagues, I'll always watch a Premier League game as priority. If there's nothing to do on a Monday night, there's no Premier League game, and I'm bored, and I see as a La Liga match and it's Real Madrid playing or Barcelona playing, yeah, I might turn it on. But other than that, I'm not watching Real Valladolid versus Villarreal or something like that. You know what I mean? Or Espanyol versus I don't know, like Malaga or something like that. You know what I mean? So for me, it's Premier League or bust. Which league would you prefer to watch? To be fair, Premier League's my main league, man. That's the league I watch. If I had to choose, I wouldn't mind watching. I don't mind watching Bundesliga if it's like Dortmund or if it's like a big game like Dortmund versus Leipzig. I wouldn't mind watching Bundesliga. I'd watch El Clasico. I would. I haven't watched it recently since Messi and Ronaldo left, but I used to watch it bro. When Messi and Ronaldo were at Real Madrid and Barcelona, oh my days, man. I would watch El Clasico bro. That game, I'd count down on my calendar for it, man. I used to love that game. Like that was prime time El Clasico. Since both of them left, it's not the same competition, man. It's not the same game either. So yeah, Premier League or bust me. That's a competition I like to watch the most. But if I had to, I'd watch what's it called? Premier League, and maybe I'd watch like if it's a big game, I'd watch it. So Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga. If it's a big game, I'll watch it. But to be fair though, Serie A scarred me a little bit. When I watched the Milan derby in the Champions League, that scarred me from watching Serie A. I don't think I'd watch a Milan derby in the Serie A anymore, man. Because that Champions League final was terrible over both legs. So, yeah. Luke, appreciate joining the stream. Sorry, I was taking a shot. What an incredible and exciting game. Really? Really, Luke? Incredible and exciting. Bro, I thought it was a slugfest, man. Look, I mean, fair play. Look, the end was exciting with the penalty shootout. But I think for the majority of that game, bro, I was counting down for penalties. I was sitting there thinking, this is crazy slow, man. Tactical fouls, injuries, conning the referee, cramp. Like everything that would slow down a football game this had. I'd love to see the stats of how much time the football was actually in play. Because the fact there was 12 minutes lobbed on at extra time, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. I've never seen more than like 3 minutes be lobbed on at extra time. Never. And it's been like, there was like 12, 13. There was 6 minutes added on. And they ended up playing like 13 minutes. Crazy, man. I think La Liga is the best after Prem. Yeah, probably potentially. Because the Real Madrid Barcelona tax, right? The two biggest clubs in the world. Congrats to Sevilla for winning Europa League. Bono's a brick ball. Hey, big up Bono, man. Did his bits in the what's it called? For Morocco in the World Cup. And brilliant again today, man. Bono did brilliant. It was boring sleeping Zeds. Oh yeah, man. At times, and it was. Sorry, gotta be more specific. The end. Yeah, the end indeed, man. The end indeed. League I watch after Premier League is Serie A, although it's mainly because the match time is different from Premier. That makes sense, Jeff. Look, to be fair, I'm maxed out on the Premier League, man, because I don't have the time, especially the fact that I'm at university full time. I don't have the time to spread my assets across multiple leagues in a way. I like to keep up with football news across multiple leagues, so I'll know like who's doing well in what league, and like I'll for example, I know Feyenoord win the Eredivisie, for example, little things like that. Obviously, this is common knowledge for most football fans, but I keep in touch with like certain managers and players that do well because I watch a lot of the highlights in other leagues and I don't watch the full games. But in terms of my actual ball knowledge, it's very much centered on the Premier League and Champions League, and I guess if Arsenal and Europa League as well mainly. But yeah, but I am branching out watching more football. That's for an absolute fact, though. Absolute fact. This season, I rarely watched the Championship, to be honest with you guys. But this season, I was impressed. I liked some of the Championship football I saw, especially from Middlesbrough. I thought Carrick did a brilliant job, man. I'm really disappointed they didn't make and Burnley as well. Company did a brilliant job there as well. But I was really disappointed those two teams. Well, Burnley did, but I was really disappointed Middlesbrough didn't make the Premier League, to be honest. I think Conference League final will be more exciting. I hope so, but that'll be a really cagey game, especially for West Ham, because look, they want to win that cup so badly, man. The fact they made it so far, they want to win it. So did Fiorentina, to be fair. But let's see, man. Let's see what happens. The One Football app, yeah, I've got that app. It's good. I don't use it as much anymore. I watch live games globally. I use the Sky Sports app, to be fair. But yeah, the one football app I used to use a lot, especially because back in the day, right, Sky Sports wouldn't have the scores for Turkish matches, and one football did, so I'd use it for that. But I don't watch the Turkish league anymore; it's dead. But anyone that knows this guy called Arda Güler from Fenerbahce, what a baller this man is. I've heard that Newcastle and Arsenal potentially are in for him. This man is a baller, bro. Like, genuinely, he's got higher upside than Mesut Ozil. If you don't know him, search him up. Arda Güler, what a baller, man. Championship is the top 10 leagues in the world. Yeah, I agree. Tommy, I agree, man. 100% agree with that point. Gonna go have dinner now. See you. Take care, Luke. I'm gonna start to wrap up the stream soon anyway, because it is quite a late one. I mean, I didn't anticipate starting the stream at 11 p.m. my time, to be completely fair with you guys. So I'm gonna, because I've got uni in the morning tomorrow. I have to wake up hella early. So I'm starting to wrap up this stream soon. I mean, I wish the game ended at full time to us. Like, sometimes I don't want penalties. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't want extra time penalties. Just wrap up the game after 90 minutes. Call it a day, man. Like, call it a day. Do you know what I mean? But that's just my thoughts on it sometimes. But yeah, Sevilla, congratulations to them. They won the Europa League final. They're 7th in a row. Sorry, not 7th in a row. They're 7th in total. It seems inevitable every time they reach the final. They're going to win it. Let's be completely honest with you guys. And they've done it again. So fair play to them. Montiel, is that how you pronounce his name? Winning penalty in the World Cup final. Winning penalty in the Europa League final. This man is born and bred for these moments. And he got the encroachment call as well, man. What a lucky guy. Are all leagues dead apart from Prem? Or are we biased? I don't think they're all dead, but I think relative-wise, I think the Prem is just far superior. Like the Premier League, I keep saying it, the Premier League is a domestic Super League. No wonder Florentino Perez has been crying out for the Super League, because he knows Real Madrid, time, like as the time progresses, then they're going to slip further and further away La Liga from the Premier League, and Premier League is going to keep getting better and better and better, and the other leagues won't catch up, and revenue won't catch up. We've already seen Barcelona get broke. Like they're now flirting with FFP allegations. Real Madrid are starting to lose some money. Even if they sign the Bellinghams, people are still going to watch the Premier League over La Liga. Do you get what I mean? So I think Florentino Perez spotted that early, and he's gone, you know what? We're going to have to try and build the Super League so Real Madrid have some more relevance domestically. Because right now, even without Ronaldo Messi was a big contributor to why La Liga was doing so well. Genuinely. That was a massive contributor. They're not at their peaks anymore. It's now Haaland and Mbappe, and neither in La Liga. So you're looking, you're thinking, if you're La Liga, the only way is you got to find a way to prize the best players over. You got to find a way to find a model that's more interesting and incorporate more teams that have a better chance of potentially winning. So I'm looking, I think, you know what? The Premier League is the best league. All other leagues aren't dead, but the Premier League is just far superior. It's relative to the other leagues, it's just the best league, man. In terms of competitiveness, I know Man City win it, like win this title 5 times out of the last 6 seasons, but the competitiveness is still there. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it's fight for Champions League, fight for Europa League, any game will be interesting in the Premier League. Do you get what I mean? Like, you can watch 18th versus 15th in the Premier League, and it'll be an interesting game. You couldn't pay me to watch 18th versus 15th in the La Liga or Serie A. Do you get what I mean? Like Spezia versus Udinese. You know what I mean? Like, no way, man. Exactly. FA Cup final next stream, then 100%, Tommy, 100%. I will be here for the FA Cup final between Man City and Manchester United. Make sure you subscribe and turn on bell notifications if you haven't already. I know you guys have, of course, but anyone else new around here, of course, that stream will be there. I can't wait for that stream, man. And it'll be an early game as well, so I've got no excuse. Streaming all day that day, man. La Liga is not competitive. Yeah, it's not anymore, man. It's just Real Madrid or Barcelona. And look, I've spoken to a few Spanish people, right? And what they say is everyone supports a club in La Liga, right? And unless you're a Real Madrid or Barcelona fan, everyone also has a bias to either Real Madrid or Barcelona, unless maybe you support Atletico Madrid. So everyone supports a like Spanish club, and they have like their Real Madrid or Barcelona to support as well. I think it's similar in Scotland a little bit, you know, where everyone has like they don't support Celtic or Rangers, but unless you are a fan of one of those teams, you have a slight allegiance to one of the two parties. Do you get what I mean? Not the parties, one of the two clubs, sorry. Do you get what I mean? I'll watch any Premier League match. We'll watch La Liga, Bundesliga, only top teams playing. That's my thought process as well. But even still, I'd prioritize Premier League every day of the week. It's competitive for 3 teams. Atletico do well to compete. Every now and then they put in a shift, Atletico, man. Every now and then. Score prediction, Man City 4-2, Man United. Yeah, I think City will win. I think I'm going to go for Man City 2, Man United 1. I think it'll be tight. I've got a funny feeling it'll be tight. But yeah, I'm going to go for Man City 2, Man United 1. Who do I want to win it? Look, my ideal scenario would be Man City win the FA Cup and Inter Milan win the Champions League. I don't want Man City to win the Champions League. Equally, I don't want City to do the treble. So, do they win the FA Cup? So even if they win the Champions League, they can't do the treble? I don't know. To be fair, I'm just going to watch it as a neutral, man. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm just going to watch it as a complete neutral. Whatever happens, happens. I'm gonna just let the chips fall where they fall at the end of the day. That's what I'm going to do. I hope it will win. I hope City win. Yeah. I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans would, right? I'm just going to let it fall where it falls, man. I'm just going to let whatever happens. I just want a good game. That's my thought process on it. I just want a good football match, personally, man. But yeah, last thing for the stream, I want to say a big thank you. I've just recently hit 2,000 subscribers today on this channel, so I appreciate everyone that subscribed to this channel. Whether you are my first subscriber or my 2,000th subscriber, I really appreciate it. So yeah, the road to 3,000 starts now. It's gonna be a bit weird because every video I've gone and every channel I've gone, make sure you subscribe my road to 2,000, and I have to change it to subscribe to 3,000. So yeah, it's like when New Year comes around, right? And you have to go and you have to keep like get the date wrong, like you're right 2022 when it's 2023. Do you get what I mean? So that's what it's going to be a bit like a little bit. But yeah, I appreciate everyone that's subscribed throughout. I hope you guys are seeing adverts on the stream. I really hope so, because I got monetized as well. So I hope you lot have seen adverts before the stream. That's the main thing. Malia goes for 3-1 to City. Yeah, I can see that score happening as well. To be fair, hope for no extra time. Yeah, man, just wrap this game up, bro. Just wrap it up in normal time. 2K, congrats. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate all the congratulations. Road to 3K starts now. And as I say that, 20 people watching right now, make sure you subscribe if you're new on my road to 3,000 subscribers. Football-related transfer videos are coming out basically daily. I've got another video coming out tomorrow. To be fair, I plan to release a Declan Rice video today, but the Kovacic news came out of nowhere. So I record and release that video today. Tomorrow, I'll have Declan Rice to Arsenal transfer news video coming up, keeping up to date with that one. Transfer news videos coming out basically daily. Most of them relate to Arsenal, but we will be talking about other clubs as well if big transfer news happens. So you make sure you subscribe to my bell notifications so you don't miss it. Love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments regarding those videos. But yeah, to wrap up this game, Sevilla won 4-1 on penalties against Roma, 1-1 over normal time. If you didn't watch the game, it's not a game to miss, to be completely honest with you guys. Sorry, it wasn't a game that you would have lost sleep over missing. It was kind of a boring, ugly match. Roma played really well in the first half and got the lead deservedly. They took their foot off the gas in the second half, and Sevilla drew level 1-1. Extra time was boring, bro. It was just players going down for cramp every 2 minutes. And in the end, Sevilla won 4-1 on penalties. Really good penalties from them. Really poor penalties from Roma to claim their 7th Europa League title. So you have to say at the end of the day, congratulations to them. Who's Rice going to big news? I do think he'll go to Arsenal personally. But all will be covered in the video tomorrow and subsequent videos on this channel. So yeah, Sevilla won 4-1 on penalties. Congratulations to them, their 7th Europa League. My next stream will be the FA Cup final between Manchester United and Manchester City, the Manchester derby. It'll be a massive game. I cannot wait for it on this channel. So if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe on my road to 3,000 subscribers. My new road, hit the bell notification so you never miss a video. Drop a like down below. And if you're watching this now and it's not becoming a stream and it's now a video, make sure you let me know in the comment section your thoughts on the match, on Sevilla, on Roma, on the whole game, what you thought of it. And if you just tune in right now, make sure you scroll right back to the start of the stream so you can hear all about my thoughts on it. I've been Wife. I hope to see you all in my next one. Take care.